A brave and genius commander who was able to bring down two great superpower empires, Persian and Roman. Nicknamed, God's Unsheathed Sword. This is prime figure Khalid bin Walid. Abu Sulayman Khalid bin al-Walīd bin al-Mughīra al-Makhzūmī, his full name. An Arabian Muslim commander who served the Prophet Muhammad, then during the time of the Rashidun caliphs Abu Bakr, 632–634 AD, and Umar bin Khattab, 634–644 AD. He played a major military role in the Ridda Wars against rebellious tribes in Arabia in 632–633 AD, the Muslim conquest of Persia in 633–634 AD, and the Muslim conquest of Syria in 634–638 AD. Khalid was a cavalryman from the aristocratic clan of the Quraysh tribe, Makhzūmī, who initially staunchly opposed Muhammad. He played an important role in defeating Muslim troops at the Battle of Uhud in 625 AD. In 627 AD, he converted to Islam and was later appointed commander. The Prophet Muhammad gave him the title Saifullah, meaning, Sword of Allah. Khalid coordinated the safe withdrawal of the Muslim troops during the failed expedition to Mu'tah against the Byzantine Arab allies in 629 and commanded the Bedouin contingents of the Muslim army during the capture of Mecca and the Battle of Hunain in around 630. After Prophet Muhammad's death, Khalid was appointed to suppress or subduing the Arab tribes of Najd and Yamama, both regions in Central Arabia, who opposed the nascent Muslim state, defeated the rebel leader's false prophet, Tulayha at the Battle of Buzaka in 632 AD and Musaylama at the Battle of Aqraba in 633 AD. Before the outbreak of the Yarmouk War, the figure that was in the spotlight in many of the Muslim wars was Khalid bin Walid. Caliph Abu Bakr sent two large armies on a mission of conquest to Iraq and Sham after successfully completing affairs with the Arab tribes who left Islam after the Prophet Muhammad died. Caliph Abu Bakr sent an army towards the Persian or Iraqi territories, in our time divided into two armies. The first part was led by Khalid bin Walid, who walked from the southwest of Iraq, while the second part was led by Iyad bin Gunum, who was given the mandate to attack from the northeast. The Caliph bequeathed these two large armies to meet at a place called Hira. For those who get to Hira's territory first, he is the commander-in-chief of all troops. Khalid bin Walid received orders to attack Persia when he and his troops were in the Yamama area, then continued towards Persia without returning to Medina first. Likewise, when Iyad bin Gunum received orders from Caliph Abu Bakr, he and his troops were in the Nabaj area, a small village between the roads leading to Mecca and Basra. Caliph Abu Bakr gave a message for the two of them to continue towards Persia, and allowed anyone who wanted to return to the city of Medina without participating in the war. Because the Caliph did not want coercion in jihad. The long journey to Persia was taken by Khalid bin Walid with his army of up to 18,000 people. City after city could be conquered by Khalid's forces, thereby making his way easier to Persia. Among the battles that Khalid bin Walid went through on his way to Persia were the Zat Salisil War, the al-Madzar War, the al-Walja War, the Alis or Fath Amdizya War, the Fath al-Hira War, the Zetuyun or Fath al-Anbar War, the Ain Tamar War, the Damatul Jandal War, the al-Hashid War, the al-Mushayyak War, the al-Farad War. Khalid's troops arrived early in the al-Hira area, so he became commander of a large army that was moving towards Persia, a combination of the troops of Khalid bin Walid and Iyad bin Gunum. After winning the Battle of al-Farad, Khalid and his troops spent the night there for 10 days, then returned to the city of al-Hira according to Caliph Abu Bakr's message. In the same year, Caliph Abu Bakr sent troops on a mission to conquer the Sham region, which was under the control of King Heraclius of Rome. The troops sent from Medina were divided into four main commands, each of which was led by a commander from among the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, namely. The first part, led by Yazid bin Abi Sufyan, moved towards Damascus. The second part, led by Sayurabil bin Hassana, moved towards Jordan. The third group, led by Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah, moved towards Homs. The fourth group, led by Amru bin Ash, moved towards Palestine. All the troops that departed for Sham experienced many failures when dealing with Roman troops, so Caliph Abu Bakr decided to order Khalid bin Walid and his troops to move from Iraq to Sham to help the troops there. The condition of Khalid's troops at that time had not yet penetrated the Persian defenses, only sufficient to conquer cities in parts of Iraq until an order came from the Caliph that he and his troops move towards Sham. Khalid left for Sham with additional troops from the Iraqi population. Khalid arrived in the Siam region, the city of Yarmouk. The Yarmouk War began, with a total strength of the Muslims of 40,000 troops against the Roman army of 250,000 troops. Even though the number of appeals is very unequal, 40,000 Muslim troops are ready to die for jihad compared to hundreds of thousands of Roman troops who really love the world and fear death. When the war was going on, news came from the city of Medina, news the death of Caliph Abu Bakr. Umar bin Khattab, who became his successor, immediately ordered a change in the structure of positions by replacing Khalidbinwalid. But Abu Ubaidah did not want the Islamic forces to fall apart and without clear directions to entrust the position of commander-in-chief to Khalid until the war was over. With this, Khalid bin Walid can carry out all the strategies that have been carefully prepared with his intelligent thinking skills. Khalid was known as a smart military commander, giving rise to many surprises for the enemies of Islam, including the Roman troops. Among Khalid's strategies in the battle against the Romans in Sham, among others are 1. Walk towards Siam via the northern road, surprising the Roman troops who thought that Khalid and his troops were coming from the south. 2. Dividing troops into 40 karates or a type of company within a military unit. 3. Making some of the troops rest, while the others are in charge of attacking. Then alternate every specified time, placing Abu Ubaidah as the new commander chosen by Caliph Umar in the rear position with the aim of diversion, providing the spirit of jihad by chanting Surat al-Anfal, and dividing friends who memorize the Quran to become companions for each group. As a result of decisive victories against the Byzantines at Ajnadain 634 fall 634–635 Damascus 634–635, and Yarmouk 636 the Muslims under Khalid managed to control most of Syria. Khalid was appointed deputy governor of Abu Ubaidah in Kinizrin, then rose to become governor after Abu Ubaidah died. After the Yarmouk War ended, it marked the existence of the Muslim community which began to expand. Until later mastered the Roman and Persian territories as a whole including Damascus and Palestine. After that Islam spread to mainland Africa starting from Egypt also to several European areas. Umar dismissed Khalid from his position as governor of Kinizrin afterwards and he died in Homs, Syria in 642 AD. He was buried in one of the Syrian mosques, the mosque named Khalidbinwalid Mosque. Khalid is generally considered by historians to be one of the most capable and experienced generals of early Islam. His accomplishments are widely remembered. The Islamic chronicles credit Khalid for his effective battlefield tactics and leadership during the early Muslim conquests. Its military prominence unsettled some early devout Muslims, including Umar bin Khattab, who feared it could develop into a cult of individuals. Islam will win if it is led by Khalid and lose if Khalid does not exist. That was the decision of Caliph Umar to replace Khalid with Abu Ubaidah. 1. Participated in the Mu'tah War, where a Muslim army of 3,000 people faced a Byzantine army of 200,000 people. Khalid became the fourth commander, after the three previous commanders were killed: Zayd bin Haritha, Ja'far bin Abi Talib, Abdullah bin Rawaha. Muslim troops can win the Battle of Mu'tah against Byzantium. 2. In the War of Mu'tah, Khalid bin Walid spent 9 swords in the fierce war. Only 1 sword remained, made in Yemen. 3. Khalid bears the title Saifullah al-Maslul, which means the drawn sword of Allah, because it is said that out of 100 battles, he never lost in every battle he led. 4. Khalid is a descendant of the aristocratic clan of the Quraysh tribe, Makhzūm. Famous figures from the Bani Makhzūm, namely Amr bin Hisham or Abu Jahal, the leader of the Meccans, al-Walīd bin al-Mughīra, a senior figure of the Bani Makhzūm, Abu Salama bin Abdul Asad, friend of the Prophet. Salama, wife of the Prophet Muhammad, al-Walīd bin al-Walīd, companion of the Prophet and brother of Khalid bin Walid. Ikrimah bin Abu Jahal, companion of the Prophet and son of Abu Jahl. Salama bin Hisham, companion of the Prophet and brother of Abu Jahl. 5. Khalid bin Walid abolished two world empires in just 4 years. The war between the Persian Empire and the Roman Empire lasted 700 years, the two involved more than 1,000 battles. Khalid defeated the Persians in 15 battles until the superpower fell. Khalid ended the Romans who had been in the east for 1,000 years after defeating them in just 9 battles. So that the Persians and Romans united to fight Khalid bin al-Walid in the Battle of al-Fard 12h with 200,000 troops. However, Khalid defeated them with only 15,000 mujahideen. Source: Dr. Muhammad Salah 6. Died in 642 AD. Khalid bin Walid is buried in one of the Syrian mosques. The mosque is named Khalid bin Walid Mosque, a mosque in Homs, Syria, which is located in a park along Hama Street in Ash-Shuhada Square. This mosque is dedicated to Khalid bin Walid for the Muslim conquest of Syria.